Hey, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing today? Today, we are going to be covering the Jets, and we have a nice crowd today. I'm just going to bring them in, and let's start this show rolling. All right. What is going on, guys?
Morning, good morning.
Morning.
Morning, boys. How we doing?
Good morning, guys. Got some exciting Jets season coming up, man. I'm pumped.
All right. Real quick, let's go through what we all do, where we're from, and then we're going to kick off with the all-time lineup. How's that sound, guys?
Let's go.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump. It's Ant from Gangrene UK. We're one of the largest member groups for the Jets in the UK. We're just getting a feel for this season. Feeling good.
Alrighty. Jets Chaos, I guess we'll go next.
Okay, I'm Jeremy from Jets Chaos YouTube show. Known for eating a lot of food and watching a lot of Jets and being on air constantly.
Happy or Justin?
I'm a happy Jets fan. I'm part of the Jet Lounge. I host a Twitter space every Wednesday called All Takes No Breaks. It is technically a Jets show, but I do cover around the NFL. So I do have several other teams that pop in, and I do a bunch of different theme shows as well. And I recently won a poll of being the face of the Jets Twitter. So shout out to Sack Exchange. Out to everybody that voted for me, and I took victory.
Justin, you're down there shaking your head.
He's the best. Yeah, I'm Justin Forocho. Also a co-host of over there, Benny, right now too. But we cover the Jets every morning, kind of like a Monday morning quarterback. We're looking forward to the season, so give our takes of what happened in the game, day after type of thing. So we're excited for it. We've got a couple training camp events. Me and Benny, we're going to be at week 1, so we're excited.
All right, Otis.
So I'm also from Gangrene UK with Ant. Help run the page and sort all the events that we do. So that's another one from Gangrene UK.
All right, Benny.
I'm Benny Blanco. Kind of like Justin said, I'm part of the Jet Lounge as well. Me and him both do the Monday morning takeoff show where we just cover everything Jets, everything that's happened in the past week. So that's pretty much it.
All right. Unfortunately, I cannot see their names. I don't know why. But some comments real quick. Why didn't they pop up? There they are. I don't know who that is. So,
I'm guessing it's a Facebook user.
Yeah.
Go Birds! I hope it's not this one.
No, I'm gonna believe that is Christy, and she is a Eagles fan.
All right, as long as it ain't the Ravens, we're gonna crush them. We got preseason on on Friday. Yeah,
All right, guys.
What's that? I live in South Jersey. There's a lot of Eagles fans where I'm at. So they deal with that all the time. Go Birds!
All right, so I went with Joe Namath. I didn't find a better quarterback to go with here. Nothing against Chad Pennington or anyone else, but he did bring a championship. He did predict the championship, though. That's kind of like why I went with Joe Namath.
Yeah, we had a big discussion on this because Joe brought the most prestige to the Jets, but when you look at the list of quarterbacks that we've had, it's very hard, even though he wasn't here for a long time, as sheer quality, we had Brett Favre for a time. So it depends how you're looking at it. Is it the ones that have brought the most to the team, or the best actual player? Because it would be hard to argue against Favre. But I see what you're saying about Namath. Because Namath is on mine and Favre's on Otis. So
I took the playing for the Jets approach because I thought of Brett Favre because he's definitely, if you went by career,
yeah,
it's pretty much, you can't really debate it. But I went by production, and career, and I understand the impact that Namath had on the Jets, in our history and everything. But in my lifetime, as far as production, I went with Ken O'Brien.
nice.
My list, I'm going with guys that I have seen play. So those guys are off my list. I agree with Jet Chaos. I understand what Joe Namath did to our history, but I'm a Chad Pennington guy all the way. You look at his career. If he unfortunately didn't get injured, I think he would have been our franchise quarterback for a very long time. I don't think we would even remotely traded for Brett Favre in 2008 if Chad didn't have that injury history. If Doug Bryan knew how to kick a damn field goal, Chad would have taken us to an AFC championship game. And just the impact he had in that 0-2 season, and we were getting crushed week in and week out and couldn't even get into the end zone. And Chad came in and, a spark was lit, and that was just a magical. So I'm going with one of our most accurate quarterbacks of all time as well. So I'm going with Chad.
Okay.
Me personally, I got to go with the guy who's got the jewelry. I got to go with Namath. I didn't say, but he's changed the league. Bringing the AFL to championship status. So I got to go Namath, my man with the mink coats. But the one season I got to give him a shout out is I know he dunk it up at the last game, didn't get us in the playoffs, but the season Ryan Patrick too. But happy, I got a Chad Pennington there too, but I got to go Joe Namath to put respect on that champ's name.
Okay. Otis.
Yeah, as Ant said, I'd sort of put my list down as the best players ever to play in these positions for us, not necessarily the amount of time that they'd spent with the Jets. So based on sort of taking them all in their prime and creating the ultimate beast team for the New York Jets, it was Brett Favre. However, if I was going to do it based on what they did for the Jets and the production and the history that they brought to us and things like that, it would definitely be Namath for me as well.
Benny?
Yeah, so I'm only 23, so some of the guys that some of you guys are going to be naming, I know the history of. I've never been able to watch, so I can't go on and on like, yeah, this is this. So I'm going to go base my list on the people that I've seen. Obviously, it's easy to go Joe Namath. He's the only one who brought us a championship, and God knows we need another one of those. But from what I've seen, what helped me become a Jets fan when I was a young kid was seeing the likes of Brett Favre. That was one of the first few names where getting into football, I knew who the hell Brett Favre was, and seeing him be part of the Jets organization was special. And I think before he got hurt, we were having a fantastic year. That was a year that we could have won a Super Bowl. So that was definitely the most exciting time for sure. So Brett Favre for me.
Okay. For running back, I went with Curtis Martin. Hard to deny him. 10,000 yards plus 58 touchdowns, 2,439 receiving yards. Yeah. So I went with Curtis Martin as one of my backs. And
Yeah, the reason that I am a Jets fan, Curtis Martin, without a shadow of a doubt. And I've just recently found out that he's got a 158.3 passer rating for his career, which is pretty decent. We have quarterbacks that we named that don't have a rating that high. So yeah, Curtis Martin, I don't even think it was a question. He was written down when I heard Ultimate. He didn't even need team.
Boy, I'm going to really keep showing my age here. I love Curtis Martin, but my first running back that pulled me into the Jets, during some golden years in the early 80s was Freeman McNeil. And I just loved his he just, some injuries slowed him down. You take away the injuries though, when he was in his prime, he was that elite, elusive type running back, that Tony Dorsett at the time, Adrian Peterson level running back as far as just all around gifted, not, elusive, explosive. He was amazing. And unfortunately, he didn't have the best offensive line at that time. And he also didn't have the health that he needed to have to really stand out with those elite guys.
I'm also going Curtis Martin as well. Top 6 on the all-time rushing list. Ant brought up a very good point about throwing the football. Martin did win us a football game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers by throwing a touchdown pass to Wayne Corbett, which was probably one of the craziest calls I've ever seen, being down in a game and you put the game in the hands of a running back. Also, Curtis Martin could do it all. He could catch out the backfield at a time where, that really wasn't known for running backs as it is now in those times in the early 2000s, mid-2000s. And at 31 years old, where most running backs slow down, Curtis Martin won the rushing title. So I got to go Curtis Martin.
Justin?
His nickname is my favorite for a reason, because he's my favorite Jet. Curtis. Definitely retired at number 4 all time. Now 6, we got passed up by a couple of guys, but he was just a workhorse. You knew he was in the game. He was getting the ball, and the other guys were like, all right, hopefully if Curtis don't get the first, I could do something. But he was that guy. And a class act nonetheless. His story is really a good one. He's my favorite Jet player of all time, and he deserves to be in the conversation as the best Jet, never mind the best at this position. So I got to go with Curtis Martin, but I got to give a special shout out to Johnny Hector too and Freeman McNeil, because I did like watching those guys in the 80s.
Otis?
Yeah, so agreeing with a lot of the guys before me, I think Curtis has got to be up there. That's probably the number one choice when it comes to running back for the Jets. You knew every time he got the ball on the field, something exciting was going to happen. And he played his heart out every game. I don't think we could ask for much more. And we take somebody doing the same right now. So, yeah, Curtis Martin for me.
Ben?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Curtis Martin. He's one of those guys that I wish I was around to see, but being able to look back at the historical perspective, like watching certain things like that, you can tell the man was special, and it's not even a question. It's not even a question. Like Justin said, he's arguably probably one of the best Jets of all time. So
he was special at Pitt too.
Yeah, he did.
So all right, we got Curtis Martin. I went with Freeman McNeil as my second running back on this team. Little 81 to 92, played what, 11 seasons, had 8,674 yards, 38 touchdowns, 3 Pro Bowls. I didn't feel that was a bad choice coming out of New York. Ant?
My second one, it was like an honourable mention to Freeman McNeil, but again, me and Otis kind of discussed him, and it was hard to pass up on LT. Like 2 seasons with the Jets. It was like something like 1,300 yards in 2 seasons towards the end of his career. He's just a quality player, and yeah, it was hard to make the decision, but LT was in my time, so more relation to him than the 80s, but yeah.
Okay. Jets?
Well, I'm not going to drop Curtis Martin that far down. So obviously Curtis Martin, I was torn between Curtis Martin and Freeman McNeil. Obviously, those are my top 2. So, I'm not going to try to be different because there's no reason to be. Curtis Martin was amazing.
This one was a tough one for me because there was a lot of underrated running backs after Curtis Martin. I could throw LT in there. I loved Lamont Jordan, Bilal Powell, but This one's a surprise. I'm sure it's going to be a surprise for everybody, but I'm throwing Chris Ivory on there.
Ooh.
Yeah, I listen. I got to be different. I'm trying to switch it up a little bit, but I loved Chris Ivory when he was a Jet, man. He was such a hard runner. Of course, he had that memorable run against Miami where he broke like 5 tackles and just had a hell of a game. And I do believe that if Chan Gailey wasn't such a horrible offensive coordinator and kept running the ball in that Buffalo game, we would have went to the playoffs. And who knows? But I think Chris Ivory gave us some really good underrated, three underrated seasons with the Jets. So I'm throwing Chris Ivory as my second.
Yeah, that guy was a horse, man. Remember him running over people and still keeping them legs moving, man. He was a good one. I'm gonna go to one of the players I mentioned before with Freeman McNeil. As a little kid, I'm 41, so when I was a little boy, my dad bought me starting lineup figurines, and Freeman McNeil was one of the first ones that I got. So number 24. Yeah, I guess we knew we had another number 24 come through after Freeman McNeil's got to be up there for me. And I just want to give a special shout out because I know we're not doing 3 to Matt Snell, guy who was right there with Namath.
All right, Otis.
Yeah, so as Anth mentioned, LT was right up there for me. Meant a lot to see him do those 2 seasons with us. I don't think we'd have got anywhere near those 2 championship games without everything that LT bought. Running the ball and catching the ball was fantastic. But a shout out for me for 3rd place was actually someone I think who was a bit underrated for the Jets was Thomas Jones. I think he was a great running back for us, good workhorse. Owns 2 1,300-yard rushing seasons for us, one of only 2 Jets, I think, to actually hit that number. So yeah, Thomas Jones would have been another one for me.
Okay, all right. Benny.
And I'm gonna have to go LT. LT was one of the biggest contributors on one of the only times I've ever gotten to watch Jets playoffs. So I gotta go LT. Obviously, we got him at the tail end of his career. But over his whole career, he's obviously one of the best to ever do it. I love the swagger he brought on the field, the touchdown celebration, everything. I remember he got the Jets tattoo on his ankle, I think, just after arriving here. So, yeah, it's definitely LT for me.
Are we going to put Breece Hall in this conversation one day?
Well,
Hopefully.
I got his autograph.
Even now, if you want.
Worth something.
I got to ask. I mean, that was one of my most exciting picks coming out of the draft for you guys, besides Wilson, obviously. But, he seems like a lightning back coming into the league for where he came from. And that's just my assumption, of course. I'm not obviously in New York, so I don't see it all the time. But I don't know. He just seemed like an electrifying pick to me.
So I'm at the green and white scrimmage on Saturday. And obviously me and Benny were at training camp yesterday too. But on Saturday, he just looked like a special specimen, and Breece Hall is a good one.
It's quite funny because at the draft, we had a draft party and Nick Mangold was doing a video of the fan reaction. And about an hour before I'd called that we'd take a running back, I just had a feeling. And then all you see on Nick's video is Otis's face, like, it was absolutely brilliant.
Imagine him running behind him. Oh,
nasty.
Well, I did go Nick Mangold as my offensive line, obviously.
I like that segue.
He's a big boy, man. Jesus. So I guess we'll go offensive line. Did everyone go Mangold? Just curious.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I
Okay.
went Mangold with honorary mention to Brick.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to look past Nick. Just for his pure time, on and off the field. Yeah, it's Nick.
Obviously it's Nick. If you're going by career impact, I just want to do an honorable mention too, because we had him, Jumbo Elliott. So he wasn't with the Jets long, obviously a big part of his career. But if you're going by career, he's got to get an honorable mention because he was pretty amazing. Like as far as careers are going, people forget that we had Jumbo. So
I guess I'll be the odd man out. I did D-Brick. I had to. You talk about protecting the quarterback's blind side, and he missed all of one snap his entire career, and we're still looking for that. Obviously, we know what the news is going on right now with Mekhi Becton, so that is unfortunate. But we've been looking for that, that left tackle since D-Brick retired. So I got to go with my man D-Brick. And I remember watching that draft where there were Jet fans in the crowd at Radio City chanting for Matt Leinart, and we took D-Brick, and the rest is history.
I love watching you guys on draft day. It's so fun.
I got with Nick Mangold, but I was torn with this because the other man that I'm thinking of, he's a Hall of Fame, Kevin Mawai. So I can't discount him, but I don't know. To me, that's a flip of the coin to me, but I got to go with Nick because he was on 2 AFC championships and Mawai was only in the one. So I'm gonna go with Nick.
All right, Otis.
Yeah, I think I can keep this one fairly short and sweet, as Ant mentioned. Nick Mangold, closely followed up by DeBrick for sure. Ferguson, with the 2 for me.
Ben.
Yeah, it's 100%. D-Brick. Happy kind of mentioned everything right there. Only missing one single snap, never missing a practice rep. Obviously, how we see offensive linemen go down every year, unfortunately, and obviously with, like Happy just said, with the Becton news, who when we drafted Becton, we thought he could be that next D-Brick. We thought he could be that guy that could handle that left tackle spot for the next 10 plus years. But obviously with the injuries, it's kind of hindered that. We've been looking for that since. So it's 100% D-Brick. And he's a Long Island native, just as me. So he was actually born and raised like 20 minutes away from where I was born and raised. So I got to show support for the Long Island native too.
If you guys hear my dog in the background, there's a deer out back, so she's kind of going nuts. Just to let you know. All right, so we're going to do 2 and 2 on the wide receivers. I'll do my 2, and then we'll come back and do the other 2, or you want to do all 4?
2 and 2.
2 and
All
2
right.
fine.
2 and 2 sounds good.
I went with Don Maynard and Wesley Walker. Some old school ones, I guess, as we would call them. Maynard, 60 to 72, 11,732 yards, 88 touchdowns. She wants to get them deer really bad.
He wants that eat him up.
Ant, who'd you go with?
Maynard was my number 1, just because of the yardage that he put up in a time when the league wasn't pass happy, and the fact that he played in games where he could hardly walk, and they still had to at least man coverage him or double him. The guy was just an absolute beast in a time when it was unheard of. My number 2, Walker was up there, but I'm gonna put Santonio Holmes in. I just think he was more than just productive on the field. I think he was a good influence on the team at the time, and he was around for that success and the heartbreak at the same time. So yeah, Santonio Holmes would be my number 2.
I'm gonna go. Don Maynard, was immediate. It just, the old timers like that I have you my channel go nuts when we forget to put him right on top because and the numbers justify it. The guy was absolutely dominant, and man, the number 2 is really hard to pick. It's amongst 3 guys for me. I'm still thinking about it now, but I'm just gonna go Wayne Corbett. just for obvious reasons for me, because he probably had the biggest heart of any Jet I've ever watched in my life.
My first is going to be Santana Moss. Just extremely electric. Was a great special teams guy. He had a very good season, even though we kind of stunk that year. But I believe he scored 10 touchdowns. I think it was like 10 straight games he was scoring a touchdown. Just one of my favorite receivers on the Jets, and I was heartbroken when we traded him to Washington for Lavarnius Coles. And granted, I love Lavarnius Coles too, but I just felt that, just also the longevity of Santana Moss. He played for a long time, and I wanted him to be, could you imagine 09 and 10 with a guy like Santana Moss? But, it is what it is. But number 2, I'm with Jets Chaos, Wayne Corbett. He was called Mr. Third Down for a reason. And I like to think that he put the slot position on the map. There really wasn't, slot receivers weren't really brought up too much around that time. And I think Wayne Corbett, in my opinion, started it all.
For me, I got to go Wayne Corbett first and foremost, because in high school, the 98 Jets were 7 Jets were up and coming. I was like a junior in high school, and probably one of the only kids in South Jersey that liked the Jets. I wore that Wayne Corbett jersey. I swear I felt like I wore it every day. So he grew up not too far from me. Jersey boy, probably about 20 minutes away from where I grew up. He lives over close now too. But I met him a bunch of times in person. He's a really good dude. And as far as his playing ability, the guy put his body on the line across the middle. He wasn't trying to take those catches and run out of bounds. He was going right at you, put his body up, and like you said, Mr. Third Down, the Monday Night Miracle, the catch from Curtis, like all that stuff, man.
Miracle.
Yeah, so I put Corbett first. He's my guy right there. But number 2, I'll just go with Don Maynard for this one, because it's, I think he's right up there for the historic reasons, Hall of Famer. Rest in peace, my man died this year. So Don Maynard is number 2 for me, and then we'll come back to the next round. I got another 2. So
yeah, for me, it was Don Maynard and Wayne Corbett. I thought they were the 2 easy choices for 1 and 2 for me.
I'm gonna have to go Wayne Corbett 1, and number 2. I've kind of been going back and forth, but I think he's one of the most. He's probably not the second best wide receiver in Jets history by any means, but I think he's very underrated amongst Jets fans and people who look back at it. Jericho Cotchery. Jericho Cotchery was huge, and he was one of the first people I was able to watch growing up. So I love Jericho Cotchery as my number 2.
That's what I love about these. Hold on, that's what I love about these things, because people base it on. Some people base it on all the history, and then some people base it on what they've seen. I like doing it like this. Go ahead. Who was going to say something? I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying the Crotchery play where he, tore his groin or whatever and still dove, and that just showed the type of player he was. He was a Jet. Yeah, good choice, Benny.
I went Altoon and Wayne Corbett as my second tier. I know we mentioned Wayne Corbett a couple times, so I didn't really I just went off 4 wide receivers. I really didn't have a full starting lineup, but these are the guys I would run out there. So I didn't really base it on 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of looked over the whole team and picked from there. So I really didn't have a full starting order, I guess. But any 4 of those guys could be out there at any time.
Take it.
Yeah, I mean, my second 2 were Corbett and Toon as well, with an honorary mention to a player that I thought was more impactful than his numbers, which is Quincy Enunwa. Just for what I'd seen, he always seemed to stand out. And then when I actually looked at it, when I was looking yesterday, he's only got 5 touchdowns for the Jets. And I'm like, I'm sure he was more than that. But I think that was just more what his character brought. But yeah, Toon and Corbett would be in the list with Enunwa as an honourable mention.
I have to go with Altoon and Wesley Walker. So those are just, like, if you notice a pattern with me, it's like you'll notice that I've mentioned all the guys from those 80s teams, but that's the last time with Ken O'Brien, Freeman McNeil, Altoon, and Wesley Walker. That's when we had a consecutive run and actually had an offense. And boy, do I miss those days when it was easy for us to put up 40 plus points in a game and it not be shocking. Year after year for a while there. So I have to mention those guys. Wesley Walker was the best deep threat I've ever seen wear a Jet uniform in my life, and Altoon was just the perfect prototypical tall possession receiver. He was awesome. Too bad about multiple concussions. Otherwise, he would have done a lot more.
My other two are Drew Benny, Jericho Cotry as number one. I mean, again, a guy who, like Wayne Corbett, played his heart out for this team. Again, that was Mark Sanchez's safety blanket at the time as well. When we needed a big third down, we went to Jericho Cotry, made unbelievable catches. And again, you could see the damage it was when we let him go after that season and we brought in Derek Mason. I think a lot of the Jet fans here can remember Derek Mason's horrific stint with this team when Cotry left. And then after him, I got to go with Lavarnius Coles. Third round pick, was only 5'11", but played much bigger than that. Him and Chad Pennington had a great connection when they were both on the field together. And it's kind of crazy that Coles at his size was a mismatch for some of those corners in the league. And he just had a very, very good career for the Jets. Even though I did say earlier I was heartbroken when we traded Moss, but Lavarnius Coles did put up some very good numbers for his Jets career.
Yeah, I'm going to go. One, I got to go with Wesley Walker. The man was blind in one eye, and he was putting up numbers. He was over 25 yards of reception, 1,000-yard receiver. Just, he was a threat. Wesley Walker, got to go with him. And four, I'm going to go with, I've been going with stats and history. Obviously, Altoon is up there, but I got to go with somebody that I enjoyed to watch more than I go with stats. But I got to go with Braylon Edwards. He was that guy that I think that he could have put us over the top if we kept him around instead of, moving on from these weapons that could have helped Sanchez grow. But he was important to those runs that I got to see. Braylon Edwards.
So mentioned a lot already. Altoon was my number 3. But mentioned by Anthony, I think nobody else so far, was San Antonio Holmes. Loved what he brought, loved the mentality he brought to the Jets, that winning mentality he brought over from the Steelers. Felt like he was a big reason we were winning and knocking off the Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts in those playoff games.
Yeah, I might have to go Santonio Holmes. Obviously, he brought that Super Bowl pedigree. I loved how he was able to. He had really good body control around. I don't know. He was just an overall really good talent. And my number 2, I think a lot of people do sleep on it and how insane it actually is. But my number 4 would have to be Brandon Marshall. I think that 1,500-yard season in 2015, 14 touchdowns with Fitzpatrick throwing him the ball is actually insane. His ability to erase mistakes, just throw it in the vicinity, and he's going to come down with it because he's just more physical. That's just nuts to me. So I think I'll take a Brandon Marshall any day on this team right now, and I think that's exactly that's what we're missing on this Jets team. Now we have a lot of smaller guys, but if Zach had a guy like Brandon Marshall, oh my God, it'd be insane.
I know, Happy, you mentioned the Coles and Pennington, or one day possibly the Wilson going to be a talk on here?
I'd like to think so. They're looking like that in practice, so I really hope to see that combination. If you look back at those years with Pennington, Moss, and Coles, they grew together. So, and we haven't had that in a while where we had a young quarterback grow with young receivers, and I'm really hoping we're having a conversation that Zach Wilson grew with Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson together.
Otis, do you have to jump out now?
I'm going to have to shoot in a second. Yeah, I'll probably stay to do tight ends and I'll leave you guys to do the defense.
Okay. Go ahead, shoot your tight ends.
So I've got Dustin Keller and F. Baxter as my 2 tight ends.
Okay.
So
So you're getting paid to work right now? I love it.
yeah, I am. Yeah. But I'm gonna have to shoot and let you guys do defense. So thank you very much for having me.
No problem. Otis. Hey, man, you have a good one. Do you want to give a shout out real quick? How to get a hold of you real quick if they need to?
Yeah. If you give us a search for Gangrene UK on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you can find us, myself and Anthony, the admin team. We're always happy to speak to you and discuss Jets football. Thanks, guys.
All right, Otis. Have a good one, man. We'll catch up again.
Take care, Otis.
Thanks, guys.
Later on, man.
Thanks, Otis.
Alrighty. Yeah, sometimes you got to get back to work. You can't talk Jets all day long, right?
That'll be me soon. That'll be me.
All right, so I went with Rich Castor and Jerome Birkins. A little old school, I guess. Wait, the cameras got on. Okay, I got to learn where everyone went when they got jumped out. All the cameras moved on my end, so now Happy jumps to last. Well, at least in my camera, I don't know. I have
Yeah,
Yeah.
Camera end.
Yeah.
I'm left. I mean, I could keep it the same since there's no confusion. I could still go after Jets chaos.
We could do it that way too. Whatever. Go ahead, Ant.
Yeah, so I went with Dustin Keller. I mean, his numbers weren't crazy, but I think tight end was a tough one for us. But my number 2 was one that I just feel doesn't get the love a lot, and it's Mickey Schuler, who he was like one of the players I read back on. When I found out about the Jets, I met a lot of people in New York, and at the time it was like late 90s. I was like, who do I need to look back at? And they give me all the main ones. And one guy said, Mickey Schuler, the best tight end. So I kind of went back and watched them. So yeah, tight end for me, Mickey Schuler, and then Dustin Keller.
Chaos.
Yeah, this is going to sound repetitive, but Mickey Schuler was definitely the best tight end to ever put on a Jet uniform. When I was a kid, when we played 2-touch football in Brooklyn, every time one of us would go out for a pass and make the catch, we'd be yelling Schuler. Like we always fantasized that we were Mickey Schuler and could be him because we'd make the catch and I'm like sure-handed, just like Mickey Schuler. He was the man. He was the man, and he did everything. He blocked like you couldn't believe. In pass protection, running game, he was just the best all-around tight ends that I ever got to root for and cheer for. It's amazing, and I don't feel like we've ever even come close to replacing him. But if I go number 2, I'll also go with Dustin Keller. He was an exciting tight end, a lot of good receptions, and fun to watch.
Yeah, my number 1 is easy. It's Dustin Keller. Again, another position we've been clamoring for since we got rid of him. But I do like to think with Tyler Conklin and Jeremy Ruckert that we finally maybe have found a receiving tight end again, because Lord knows we haven't had one since Keller left. Again, another good safety blanket for Sanchez. He came up big in a lot of plays for Mark. And then my second one, my God, the tight ends that I've seen before Dustin Keller. I mean, let's go with Kyle Brady. No. I mean, I loved Anthony Beck, but he was more of a blocking tight end, but he did come up big in the red zone. Or I could go Chris Baker, but Chris Baker didn't have like crazy stats, but he was a good receiving tight end. But I'll lean towards Chris Baker. I did like the receiving I do like the receiving tight ends a little bit more than the guys that just can block, even though, Beck was a very good run blocker. But something about Chris Baker's game and the way he spread the field and had that breakout year in 2006. So I'm gonna go with Chris Baker. I mean, I could go Cumberland. I mean, Cumberland had a pretty, that one good year with Geno, but he didn't do anything else after that. So I don't know who to go. So I'll go Chris Baker.
Tight end's tough, and tight end's tough. After looking at the stats, Mickey Schuler's got to be out there. I didn't get to see a lot of him play, but I'm gonna go Mickey and Dustin. But actually did like Chris Baker a lot. I was actually thinking about putting him up there with Keller, but I mean instead of Schuler because I see Schuler play a lot. But after looking at the stats, I got to put him there. Honorable mention though. We will be talking about this man on this list is Tyler Conklin. He's going to be one of our best tight ends ever, bro. I really feel it. Yesterday, here's a cool story real quick. Yesterday, I was at training camp, and I was holding my phone out, trying to get a picture of Brees Hall. Tyler Conklin threw a T-shirt and knocked my phone out of my hand onto the ground. So I said, yo, Conk, you knocked my phone on the ground, man. He came over and took it and took a selfie with my phone with me, Benny, a couple of the guys. He's a cool dude, caveman. Okay, he's going to be the guy. I'm telling you, we're going to be talking next time.
That's cool.
It's your team. I guess you can put whoever you want, Justin.
I put him out there right now with this list, man. But I got to earn the stripes so far, so I got to go Dustin Keller and Mickey Schuler.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dustin Keller, and I've seen pretty much nothing but god awful tight end play throughout my overall existence. So I'm gonna just play the long game, and I'm gonna also say Tyler Conklin, just because everything that he brings. He's a pretty decent run blocker. He's coming off of a career year now, and I think obviously he had more opportunity last year, so I think he's gonna end up getting the tight end one nod. I think his ability to play inside, you can kind of use him in a Mike Gesicki-esque role because he's a pretty solid route runner where you can make him a big slot and create those mismatches there. And obviously everything you've seen at a Jets camp, Zach and him have a rapport building already. So if Zach is going to have a successful season, in my eyes, it's going to be in big part of the play of Tyler Conklin. Obviously, we all love what CJ brings to leadership, but overall talent, I don't think it's close. And I think Tyler Conklin is going to be on this list one day for sure, and should be.
That's why I love Benny.
Was that the biggest offseason move as far as free agents?
It was underrated. I would say
It's the
underrated.
most underrated. Yeah,
Underrated.
It's the most underrated.
Okay.
I think it's
No one's thinking about it.
one that we didn't know we wanted.
I would
Yeah.
say the biggest move, crazy, but it's Lincoln Tomlinson for me to solidify that entire line.
Especially after yesterday.
Yeah, we're bummed out. This week is definitely a bummed out week. So
I'm just waiting to see we signed Dwayne Brown. That's
Yeah.
it. Waiting for the news.
yeah,
Well, we've just dropped. Well, we've released Parker Ferguson and Hamilcar Rashid to bring in Glasser and Benoit on the O line. That got announced about 15 minutes ago.
so
Yeah.
Got me changing windows here, man. I think every one of us put our screen.
I guess that's big breaking news, huh?
It came through on the UK app, which we're not normally first, but we've just got a new website, which is giving the app a little bit of a kick, which is quite good.
All right. Defensive lineman. I went with Jerry Philbin.
Uh,
65 and a half sacks. 68 sacks. So I don't know. It seemed like a good pick.
yeah.
I know
For-
we're all looking up the news right now. I love it.
Sorry, guys. For D line, for me, it was one everybody else. It's Mark Gastineau. You can't ignore 74 sacks, which, if we're being honest, a 90 because we weren't counting him for half of his career. So yeah, I mean those put him well above everybody else. Yeah, it's Mark for me.
I'm going to go with the best all-around defensive lineman to ever play for the New York Jets, and that's the guy who's been unfairly shut out of the Hall of Fame, Joe Klecko. Joe Klecko not only got all those sacks alongside Gastineau, but he was also incredibly effective against the run, and he was all pro in 3 different positions on the defensive line. So it's a shame he's not in the Hall of Fame, but to me, he's the best all-around defensive lineman to play for the Jets.
This year.
This one, I had 1 or 2 guys I could go with, but I'm going to go with Sean Ellis. The combination of him and John Abraham together for those that stint was fantastic. We had him coming off the edge, and we had Sean Ellis also coming off the other side. And even when John Abraham left, Sean Ellis was still doing such a heck of a job. And he was a big part of us winning that divisional game against New England. He was putting a lot of pressure on Brady. So I got to go with my man Sean Ellis.
I got to go with the guy who had 107 and a half, sacks in his career. I remember watching this guy when I was a kid, and he was the definition of a football player, somebody who just beat the crap out of the quarterback, throw him to the ground, and get up and dance, start a fight. He was football. Mark Gastineau, easy.
Start a fight and run away when Klecko do a fight.
Yeah, I'll probably say Klecko. Obviously, I wasn't able to watch his impact, but looking at the numbers, it's hard to say otherwise.
I do want to throw an honorable mention, even though after we gave him a contract, he stunk, or he wasn't.
Don't say it.
I'm gonna have to, man. I gotta throw up Muhammad Wilkerson up there, man.
Oh.
Before he got the contract, man, Muhammad Wilkerson was very good off that line. So I pay the man respect, though. He was phenomenal for a while until he got the contract.
Now, just curious, you boys are all in, except for Anna, obviously. Are you guys? How many games do you guys try to go to a year?
The most I've ever went to was 6, and that was in 2015. I roughly go to like 2 to 3 otherwise.
I go to about 3 or 4. Most I've ever done was actually 6 as well, but I do like 3 or 4 games plus a preseason, so maybe around the average about 5.
So I get somewhere between 3 and 5 a season, but not always Jets, obviously, because I get 3 to 4 London games. This year I've got 3 London games, and I'm coming over to the Bears game with 15 of Gangrene UK, which is going to be cool.
We'll see you there. I'll see you there.
I've only gotten to go to a handful of Jets games in my life because I've lived most of my adult life in California as far as having money and the ability to buy tickets and go to games. But I have seen some great games. I saw them play, beat San Diego in San Diego. And I used to go out to, I think I was at Shea once when I was a kid, and mostly like when it was the Meadowlands. But hey, man, I'm going to the opener. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in the hangar. So that's the one that counts.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, I got season tickets, so I go to everyone. Well, this is going to be my second year, so I'm going to be going to every single one. I'm hyped about this team. But typically in years past, I go to around like 2 a game, 2 a year.
I can't promise I won't have a few beverages before walking into the hangar. So
I thought you were supposed to.
Yeah, no.
Isn't that what makes a good tailgate sometimes?
Yeah, I'm gonna be tailgating at 8:00 in the morning, so I'm ready. I'm excited. And now I know that Gangrene UK is going to be there for the Bears game. That's cool because I definitely want to meet the guys. I'm going to that game. It's the Revis Ring of Honor, that game. So definitely got to.
I've reached out to the team and all sorts because like Revis is one of my all-time favorites. So yeah, I'm hoping we can do some things with the Jets and the UK team while we're over there. So be on the lookout for some crazy people with some Union Jacks and some cameras.
So Jets chaos. are you gonna try and go to more games this year, or are you just gonna try and get to what you can?
Well, I'm in Sacramento right now, so I'm flying in to do the hangar. I thinking about possibly going up to Seattle. I just want to find some other Jets fans. I hate going alone. It sucks. It's like, I'm one of those guys that always have the crew with me, so I could be my wise guy self and like snap little wise guy comments. So like kind of like Esna when you get a sack dance, and then I have like a guy like Justin to take care of it if anybody jumps me and tries to attack me. So it's hard without the muscle. I need some muscle there around me. I've always been like the clown of every group I've been with, and I've always had guys around me looking out for me. So going alone's a little scary, but if I could find someone that wants to meet up there, I might fly up there and check it out because it's a quick, easy flight for me from Sacramento.
I'll fly out to Seattle with a Jamal Adams jersey and a cigar in my mouth backwards, and we'll go into the stadium.
I just want to say one more thing before we move on. This is also my first time going to like an event like the Hangar event. So it's going to be cool being surrounded by Jet fans rather than opposing teams, because after a while it does get like agitating and annoying listening to like the opposing team fans just chirp, chirp, chirp. So it'll be good to be like surrounded by Jet fans, and I can enjoy the game and not have to hear a bunch of drunk yo-yos yelling nonsense.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. We got 3 comments real quick from Frankie James. He says Pennington is the GOAT. I don't know why my computer's being a little. There we go. So that's good, and he's a Philly fan. So coming from that should be good, right? And then he is apparently going to the Jets-Eagles preseason game. Maybe he wanted to meet up. I don't know. Maybe we'll get an answer. And then the Seattle, he said, go to Seattle, best town.
Yeah, it is a fun town. That's true. I've been there.
I have been there as well. I like Seattle. It was fun.
Yeah, I got family out there. It's a good time.
I went to the fish market though. I didn't have a chance. I was only there for 2 days. You can only do so much,
Oh, even I did the fish market, and I was only there for 24 hours drinking.
I didn't. Well, I don't know. I don't know. It was a long time ago. We just didn't go.
I literally traveled down from Vancouver just to go out drinking, and then went back.
A guy from the UK drinking? No.
just the way we roll.
All right, so I went Cal Clifton and Mo Lewis as my linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, Mo Lewis is on the list without a shadow of a doubt, and he gets such a hard rap from some Jets fans because obviously what he did to Bledsoe and then led in to the dark reign of Brady. But you cannot dispute the fact that man was an absolute beast. So yeah, Mo Lewis made mine, and then Davis Harris was my second.
Well, this is going to be so unpopular, but it's so predictable. If you've been paying attention, I'm going to go Lance Mel from the 80s. And he's kind of like my Mickey Schuler on the defense. But I'll go with Mo Lewis. The dumbest, baddest rap against the player I've ever heard of in my life. Like the complaint about Mo Lewis is so ridiculous to me in my mind. It's like, let's be mad at a guy for doing exactly what we wanted him to do because it didn't turn out right for us. But yeah, Mo Lewis, absolutely. But I have to start with Lance Bell after that. If you run and look at the numbers, the guy was a tackle machine. He was like the heart of the defense for a lot of years in the 80s.
Are we counting edge as linebackers?
This has been a debate. I was not counting them as linebackers, but if you want to, it's your team.
All right. I love to hear it. So number 1 is John Abraham. Again, a position that we've been looking for and clamoring for a long time. I know Calvin Pace was there. He was good, but, John Abraham was just a force. And it sucked when we traded him because look at our edge rushers since John Abraham left. I mean, it's only been Calvin Pace. And with that, it's just been a complete disaster at that position. But I know, we got Carl Lawson and Jermaine Johnson now. So I could, I know most of us here, I'm sure, have a lot of hope that we finally can put some damn pressure on the quarterback and not have him have 8 seconds to 10 seconds to throw the ball. Linebacker, got to agree with Ant. I got to go with David Harris. I love Jonathan Vilma, but when we switched to 3-4, he was like when we switched, and David Harris filled in just fine and had an amazing career as a Jet.
I got to go number 1, Mo Lewis, first Jet I've ever saw score a touchdown in person on an interception off of John Elway. And the fact that he took out a opposing team's quarterback and gets shit for it, I'd have him do it again. You can't control that Tom Brady's going to step in, not the guy out. I don't care. Throw him in. What are you going to do? He didn't sign Tom Brady. He knocked out the quarterback. That's what we want our linebackers to do. Put these guys on their ass. So I got to go with Mo Lewis as 1. And 2, this was tough, but I want to go with David Harris. It was definitely enjoyable watching him, but I got to go with a guy who was very underrated, and I got to go Kyle Clifton. I loved the guy, the way he played, and he was, ranked 3rd in team history for consecutive games, 204 and first for a linebacker. So he put up the stats too. So I'm gonna go with Kyle Clifton.
All right.
I have to go Mo Lewis and David Harris. David Harris was honestly, I think he's so underrated within Jets fans within themselves. He always led the team in tackles. You heard his name nonstop. It was actually insane. And I honorable mention week 1, C.J. Mosley versus Buffalo in 2019. I'm pretty sure as just week 1 where he absolutely dominated that first half. I'll take that.
You mean right up to that point where we thought, oh my God, we're going to actually be good again?
Yeah.
that game filled me with so much joy and then broke my heart.
And then we remember that Adam Gase was our head coach.
Yeah, I mean, CJ, I think he's been one of the top talents we've had at the position, but he's been surrounded by a team that just couldn't do much and put him in the right spots. But look how many tackles this guy has. And he's good. I don't know. He's sideline to sideline. He could, if he was on a better team, I think we'd be talking with him as being the best one that we've had. So, yeah.
All right. Jets, why don't we run through your 4 and then what you think they're going to be for the season, since you got about 9 minutes now?
Okay. I'm sorry. What position are we doing now?
We're going to run through your 4 defensive backs and then what you think the season's going to bring, because I just saw that you said you got about 11 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you guys are. It's like 6:22 a.m. here, so I gotta get ready for work. But I'll say, so this is going to be. Some of you might not have ever heard of this guy, but I'm going to start with James Hasty. The reason I love James Hasty is because there was some tough years there for the Jets when he played, but he was the only one that made the game worth watching to me sometimes, because the guy talked crap and he reminded of me, just like a wise guy mouth talking. He'd get in the face of guys twice his size, and he never shut up. And it was so much fun to watch him because you could just see it on the TV. Like you'd almost see his voice like a cartoon character barking at his helmet. It was hysterical. Victor Green, Antonio Cromartie, and then of course the number 1, the most elite defensive, maybe player we've ever had, Darrelle Revis.
2 players out of Pitt made this list. What do you think the season's going to bring?
Well, I think we got to address the tackle situation. They should just pick up JD should have picked it up yesterday. Pick up the phone, call Dwayne Brown, and bring him in, and we'll be fine. The guy is still, we'll have it won't be as good. It's disappointing, but we'll be okay. But we have to get a better tackle in. Otherwise, all the weapons don't mean anything if you can't block, and I don't want that weakness on the line. There's the guys we have in right now. I don't trust Max Mitchell. He's too young. He needs another year to develop. So they must address this. But other than that, I'm super, super stoked and excited. I think Breece Hall is going to be possibly the most elite running back we've ever had by the time it's said and done. I think our receivers, Elijah Moore, is about to break out and go nuts. Garrett Wilson's going to flash as a rookie. I'm super excited about the defensive line and all kinds of the havoc that they're going to raise. And guys like Whitehead and Reed and now Gardner are going to make us exciting in the secondary. I think people want to, you know, underrate us because of record and everything like that. But on paper, and if we deliver in like real life, you know, Zach is accurate now. He's throwing BBs. He's much more comfortable in the offense. I'm super excited. I think we could win 9 to 10 games this year. I have no problem seeing that. I don't care what our schedule is. I'm not worried about the other team. I think we're stacked with quality. And I think that, Benny, for the last years that you've had, you know, that you've been watching and suffering, I think you're about to have a very long run, more importantly than anything else. This is not just we bought a team for 1 year. This is just the beginning. You're going to, like, for the next 10, I see this as being a real 10 to 12 year run of being a competitor every year. And I'm super, super stoked and excited.
To make it easier with Brady out of the division.
It always makes it easy with Brady out of the division, but but I'm hoping that Zach Wilson will step up a lot and make, you know, and then the rest of the team will, you know, you got to worry about Josh Allen a little bit, but it's not just about one player anyway. So
Got to worry about your moms too.
that's right. Everybody watch out.
I saw I deleted all media. Huh? Did he delete all social media because of all that? Someone said he did, but I didn't really pay attention.
I don't think he deleted it. Not you. He deleted the apps off his phone. He didn't deactivate his accounts.
All right, so I had Victor Green as well, and of course I had Darrelle Revis. Ty Law, I had Ty Law on there. Couldn't deny his 2 seasons. I mean, it's three seasons, 2005, 2008, and I had Aaron Glenn as well. Kind of went in the middle of the year there.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of went Revis at 1, Cromartie 2, which were they were locks. Then I took Ty Law just for the fact that it was 16 interceptions in 23 games over 2 years. That can't be ignored. And then my third one was Jim Leonhard. Just a couple of good years. Like, he was there 2009 through 2011. It was just a solid player. Only 3 interceptions, but it was one of them. That was like the time when I'd been around for about 10 years as a fan. So then I started getting into the actual like the meat and potatoes of football, we'll say. So I kind of appreciated players that didn't get the mentions, but were actually productive.
Happy.
My number 1 was very easy. Future 2023 first ballot Hall of Famer, Darrelle Revis. I mean, everyone, you know, the 09 season speaks for itself, but even in 2010, 2011, this guy was still shutting down receivers. I mean, you know, Calvin Johnson was arguably the most dominant wide receiver in the NFL for years, and he went up against Revis one-on-one, and Calvin Johnson was catching the ball over 3 guys, and one dude shut him down the entire game. So that's probably one of the most memorable games that I've ever watched as a Jet fan. And I know his second stint was kind of sour. You know, obviously in that game against Buffalo, Sammy Watkins, out of all people, was having a nice game against him, which was, no, all of us were angry at that game. Same thing with, like, San Antonio Cromartie, another lock. When we traded Darrelle Revis, which was just the stupidest trade probably in Jets history. We got Sheldon Richardson for a little while, but nothing else out of it. Cromartie stepped up. Cromartie had, you know, a couple of good seasons when Revis wasn't there, and it was a luxury. We had 2 number 1 corners, you know, in 2010 and 2011. So that was, you know, very rare to see. I'm going to throw this one out there, and I wish he stayed, and that was Kerry Rhodes. I loved Kerry Rhodes. So it was a very good free safety, but, you know, he just couldn't get along with Rex. I wish there was a way they padded that relationship because it definitely was a huge loss. I did not like Eric Smith. I haven't met a Jet fan who liked Eric Smith, and if I do, I'll give you like an award or something because I could not stand Eric Smith. And my last one was a little tough, but I did throw Aaron Glenn in there. I did watch the tail end of it until before he went to Houston, and I loved his game. Aaron Glenn was fantastic. And again, I look at the corners after Aaron Glenn, and I know we got Ty Law for that 1 year, but our corners after Aaron Glenn, my God, Donnie Abraham, all these like random guys that just did absolutely nothing for us. So I'll go with Aaron Glenn.
Hey guys, I'm gonna cut out.
I was gonna say, Jets, you look like you're getting ready to roll. Do you want to give a shout out how to get a hold of you? Give these guys a follow as well.
Yeah, Jets Chaos on YouTube. Very easy to find, Jets Chaos, and I'm on Twitter as Jets Chaos also as well. And I'm in the Jet Lounge. I don't talk a lot, but I'm kind of just chilling, hanging out there. So I know all you guys. I hear your voices all the time, and the Jets Chaos guy, Jets Lounge guys, and I look forward to meeting you guys.
No doubt, bro.
All right.
Hey,
Take care.
man.
All right, Jets. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks
you
for having me. Appreciate it.
All righty. Have a good day at work. I got to get there soon too. So
Thanks. Yep, I hear you. Take care. Thanks.
all righty.
Looks like you lost it.
I don't know where Ant went. He might have had a bad connection. I'm not sure. He usually says bye.
I'll give you mine. Victor Green, I think he's the best safety we ever had. Just a hard-nosed player. I got to go James Hasty. My man was he played a long time. He was our highest paid defensive back in the whole NFL in 1993. That's how important he was to the Jets. He also made the Pro Bowl in 97 and 99. So James Hasty was an underrated ball player. They didn't record passes that were defended when he was there, but if they did, I think his numbers would be much more impressive. So James Hasty, Victor Green. I'm gonna go with Cromartie, and I think I'll put De'Ron split. But also honorable mention, like I said before with Conklin, Sauce is going to be in this conversation.
Yeah, obviously, we already know Darrell and Cromartie is a complete lock. Especially, obviously, we know Darrell. The game plan was you cover this person, and the rest of the defense takes the rest of the field. Like, it was actually insane. In my opinion, I know everyone loves prime time, but I think Darrell is the best corner to ever touch the NFL field. Cromartie, obviously, luxury. A lot of people view him, he was cornerback too, but almost on any other team. He, especially on most of our history, but let's just play the 2009, 2010, he would have been cornerback one on almost every other team. Like, he was that freaking good. And obviously, Cromartie's was athletic and electrifying, things like that. Kerry Rose would be my 3. And my number 4, I don't care what nobody says, it's going to be Sauce Gardner. Sauce is going to be that dude. He has the potential to literally step on the field this year with his athleticism, his football savvy, his quick hips, long arms, everything, to be one of the top corners in the NFL by the end of this year. And I think that speaks within itself. I think obviously we have tough competition within our division, the Stephon Diggs of the world, the Waddles, the Tyreek Hills, guys like that. But with his overall ability, his overall size, he's going to make it a living hell for anyone to try to get open.
Not Jamal Adams, Benny?
Hell no, bro. I still got Jamal's jersey. I don't know why.
Listen, as crazy as it sounds, though, Jamal Adams, when he was a New York Jet, was a top 5 safety in the league. Now,
the punk, but he was good.
Not, but listen, but he was a top 5 safety with the Jets. Now, not so much. But when he was with the Jets, man, we knew how to use him, and we used him correctly. He was a monster. Obviously, that 2019 season. But I want to throw an honorable mention. I'm surprised no one brought him up. No one like Marcus Coleman. I thought Marcus Coleman was pretty good. Justin, no.
He's not in my top 4. I would have rather had Bobby Jackson or Ty Law.
How big of an addition was Alan Faneca to that line for the time he was there?
Him and D on that left side were real. It goes a long way, and then people kind of laugh when you make a move on the offensive line. People are like, "Puh, offensive line is your best free agency pickup." Yeah, because we do need to run the ball. You need to give time to your quarterback to throw the ball. So, just going with Jets Chaos said earlier, I really hope that they solidify tackle because I don't want to have a conversation where we say that Zach Wilson struggled because of the O-line. It's really getting tiresome to have this conversation of why our quarterbacks are struggling because of the O-line. So I really hope we're, gone with that conversation.
No, we love that Alan Faneca, man. He was a fan favorite and veteran leadership to alongside of those guys. It's Rick and Mangold. I mean, was he on the right side or the left?
Left. Brandon Moore was on the right.
Brandon Moore, right. So, he had teaching those two guys. I mean, I think you couldn't have asked for a better piece in between guys that are now going to be in our Ring of Honor here with Mangold and Ferguson. So, Faneca was huge.
Well, he was a huge boost in the Steelers line. That's what I know.
Yep.
So Joe Douglas apparently has just done an interview and said that Dwayne Brown is in phenomenal shape and the wheels are very much in motion to get the deal done.
His tag went up since.
Oh, yeah, somebody's just put it onto our admin chat there. Yeah. He's on a break at work and he works in a prison and the only thing he can get is Twitter. So like literally he has like 10 screens on Twitter. He don't miss anything.
So what are you guys' expectations on the year real quick? I know we've bet about I was going to try and go an hour and a half if that was good with you guys. About 15 minutes to talk about what you guys think of the season. That'd be good. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I do listen to you guys on the Monday mornings when I can. So occasionally you'll see me pop up in there. I don't say much, but obviously I just listen. I'm like the other guys, Jets Chaos.
Well, week 4, we definitely want you in there, man. Talk about Steelers.
I don't say much. I just kind of listen to Twitter Spaces. I'm just learning them still.
Yeah, we just want the insight for the Steelers stuff, though. You'll know more about the teams than we do your team.
Definitely let me know whenever you're getting there. Yeah, I'm like 40 minutes out of Pittsburgh, but I grew up in Pittsburgh, so sometimes you move a halfway point for grandparents, You got to be civil, I guess. But anyway, what's your expectations on the seasons? Holy crap, seasons. Obviously, Jets Chaos thinks that you guys are built for the next 10 to 12 years, which has got to be good hearing that from a veteran.
Yeah, I'm in kind of the same boat that Jets Chaos is in. Obviously, now I'm going to be speaking on whatever the Mekhi Becton news is going to be, but I'm still going to keep my stance. I still think if we come out of, camp and preseason healthy, I don't see why we can't win 10 games. I think we have built a very good young core around Zach. Our quarterbacks in recent memory haven't really had these kind of weapons around, a Garrett Wilson, an Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, who I think could still put up some numbers, Braxton Berrios. You look at our running backs, Breece Hall, which I didn't think we were going to pick, but, we did. And now we have him and Michael Carter. Michael Carter's a better complementary guy. And we have tight ends, Conklin, Uzama. I think they're going to use Jeremy Ruckert as a Kyle Juszczyk. I think they should. Ruckert could block and he could also catch. So I think that's a mismatch for a lot of defenses if they use Ruckert that way. And, on the defensive side, I'm sure Benny will say it, and I'll just say it first. Jeff Ulbrich has no excuses this year. He's got talent on defense now than what he had last year. He's got Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. Now Bryce and Eccles are, they're going to be rotational guys. Michael Carter in the slot. I'm excited to see C.J. Mosley and Kawan Alexander together. As Justin said it before, Mosley really hasn't had, a capable linebacker next to him. I know he lost Avery Williamson that one time, and I was excited for that. But, Mosley finally has someone next to him that can play well. And then, of course, our edge, JJ, Carl Lawson, defensive line, Jacob Martin, I think was a very underrated signing as well. Michael Clemens and Quinnen Williams and JFM are going to be in the middle. And safeties, Jordan Whitehead. And, free safety, I'm still a little shaky on. But, I think this is going to be a very good football team. People talk about, our young players, but Joe Douglas built a team to score points. I don't think we're going to be the quote-unquote running team. I think we're built to score, 25-plus points a game. We can't be the 17 points a game Jet team as we have been over the last several years. So my expectations are high, even with the Mekhi Becton news. 10-7 is what I'm going with still.
I have 10-7 as well. I was just ready to grab my book and look, but I'm on different headsets, so I can't stretch it.
Yeah,
I had 10-7 or 9-8, one of the two. But I had Yins at the 9-10 mark. I know that. I did have Yins losing to the Steelers though.
So what's kind of funny, sports is we were going through the schedule, and all jokes aside, I don't know, for some reason we stink in Pittsburgh, but we'll see this season.
I was at the game where your kicker missed the field goal.
Doug, thank you.
That's just a done thing in the past few years for the Jets, though, isn't it? Kickers missing field goals.
Well,
Who and then he went for sale on eBay the next day.
Well,
Greg
just have
Zerline
a roll.
54 yesterday. Greg Zerline, he hit it over the net into the woods. So, and Pinheiro hit one from 54 at camp. So hopefully they had a good competition between the two kids.
Yeah, my only issue with Pinheiro is that he's got he doesn't do kickoffs, and he's from a soccer
Got no height on his kids.
background. He should be doing that, which is crazy. I know so many goalkeepers who play over here who can do 60, 70 yards and get the height almost instantly. This was his background, and he can't do it. I can kick an American football really well because I used to take free kicks and corners. I can't do anything else on the field, but as a kicker, I'm not bad.
At least we don't have Matt Amendola anymore. I think that might have been the worst I've ever seen in my entire. He couldn't kick past 30 yards. If it was a past 30 yards, we're like, okay, he's missing the field goal.
He's a good punter.
That's it.
Remember he and that one.
Yeah, when Braden went down.
Yeah.
So one little thing that we were having a chat about, talking about this season, was if we don't take Brown at tackle and we leave Fant at left tackle, about moving Vera Tucker to right tackle, and then Herbig steps into right guard, but then we've obviously just brought in more O-line backup. What are your thoughts on that? I believe Vera Tucker can play it, but it's whether we want to put him in that position.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about it last night too. We already asked the kid to switch a position again already. I know it's. I don't want it to be. I think that's I feel like it's desperation. We're showing that we're desperate, to find a right tackle. I want to keep him on the interior line. He was solid interior lineman. I'd rather keep him there.
Yeah,
my bad, Justin.
No, my thought on that end is we just replaced Becton's position with a different player. Font is a good left tackle. I like him, but he's a left tackle. I don't want to move Font from left tackle. I think he's good over there, and he's younger than Brown. We're going to get Brown for a 1-year rental, and then Fant is struggling on the right side. I like keeping Font where he's at, keeping Tomlinson where he's at, McGovern where he's at.
Yeah.
Barrett Tucker where he's at, and then get somebody on the right side to show up like Morgan Moses did last year or somebody. But I'm not moving
You
these
look
guys.
at that. Brown never played right tackle.
The difference is, though, Justin, this time around, George Fant will be next to Elijah Vera Tucker and not next to Greg Van Rotten on the right side. So if we do get Brown, there is a positive. I know he struggled in 2020. He was average, but he's next to AVT, not to GVR anymore. So that's why I have a little bit of confidence.
I don't know. I think you got to find somebody to replace Becton for the future, not just for this year. I don't know.
No, it's just an interesting one that came up, and I thought I would ask why I was on, because it's good to get kind of a varied of opinion. As schedule goes, I kind of agree. Looking at it, I can see 10 wins. But this year, I upset a lot of people because I don't mind if we get beat as long as we don't lose. Like, if we get beat by a better team, that's fair dues. But if we're in a game that we can win and we prove we can win it, and then we lose it, that's on us. That's bad coaching. It's bad preparation, bad mentality. So for me, we can take the defeats, just not the losses.
Okay.
I couldn't have said that better, bro. You're totally right. That's as much as I could see that 10 win mark. I think we end up landing around 9. I think we probably just fall short of that wild card, and I'll be okay with that as long as we're competitive. We're playing competitive games. I don't want to see none of this 42-6 bull crap that we've seen in past years where we look like we didn't practice all week and we just kind of went out there and got ran over. Like I don't want to see any of that. I do like obviously all the talent that we have along this roster, a lot of young talent mixed in with, I feel like, the right amount of veteran leadership. Obviously with the Klons, Lincoln, who's been in those Super Bowls, who's been in those like big games. But honestly, maybe it's just me. Obviously, the news is still fresh, but I think the loss of Becton does cost us a game because regardless if we sign Brown and put Fant, our main priority this year, I feel like it's no secret that we're trying to run the ball. We're trying to feed Breece Hall, Michael Carter, feature those guys, and allow Zach Wilson to get in those second and shorts, third and shorts, where he could make the big play. He doesn't consistently have to be in third and long, stuff like that. And having Becton who's a complete mauler, just give it to Breece, run behind Becton. Give it to Michael, run behind Becton and AVT. And we were going to be able to control the game, control the clock with that. And I think that's obviously going to take a step back. You're not going to replace a Becton. So I think the loss of Becton probably cost us a game, and that's where I think we could fall short of the playoffs. But either way, as long as Zach takes that second-year lead and our coaching staff proves that they know what the hell is going on, I won't be mad.
Yeah, as far as my expectations, I had our floor at 7 wins and our ceiling at 11. But I think that anything short of a 9-8 season to me is a failure. I want a team. I don't want to. I get it, like we said about being in the games, but nobody remembers a close game. They remember the wins of the record at the end of the year. So to me, I think you got to be just considered as a winning team. So therefore, it rolls into the next season on the right path and not considered as a loser. But as far as the Becton stuff, I do think it's going to be big. But at the same time, I still think that I have a lot of faith in the talent in those backs that they're be able to get fresh. Like Michael Carter averages over almost 8 yards a carry when he was in college behind Javonte Williams, and now he's a complimentary back. He can do that behind a guy like Breece Hall, who could be that bell cow running back. We have those tight ends who can block on that too, guys. Don't forget Becton is a big guy, but now you got a guy like Conklin or Uzama or Rucker on the outside, who their defense, their linebacker skills a little bit. You need to tip them and go out for a route. You're going to block them, so that's going to be big for the run game. Where when you got to pass, play action pass. So are you handing it off? Am I covering? I think that's big with the tight end position. So I'm still confident that we're still going to be okay with that. But I guess that the wound is still open, and about being so hyped for Becton coming in and proving people wrong, because I think he had that chip on his shoulder, but now he's got a chip knee. So I'm all about us being a winning team this year, but I have us winning 10 games still. I'm not going to falter from that from one guy on the team. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the defense can do with Quan Alexander now and not giving up in the 30-20s where it kills a drive. It's going to be clock management. And like Benny said, controlling the clock will be big for Zach because we can get into a rhythm where we're not fighting back in every game down 20 points, trying to throw the ball. We can control the clock and run it. So I think it comes down to coaching. Ulbrich has to do what he's supposed to do. I think that. So
Okay. So everyone's got about 9 to 10 wins. Is that what I'm getting?
yeah, that's
So, Ann, are you coming over for like a week or just the weekend and getting out of here, or?
So I fly over on Black Friday and leave the following Wednesday. So I'm hoping to do a little bit of touristy things, the game on Sunday, and then on Tuesday I'm trying to get out to the training facility to do some bits with for the UK guys.
awesome. Happy on
In New Jersey, you're staying in New York.
I'm staying Westin Grand Central, so right in the middle of Manhattan. But we're going to be traveling out a bit.
Take the train over to Jersey. Well, I'll take you to some nice Italian restaurants over here.
Yeah, it sounds good because we were saying we want to go to Jersey kind of like Monday after the game and chill out because it's Cyber Monday in Manhattan, like it's sales day for Christmas. Total mistake on my part. I would much rather just chill out, eat and drink because that's the way I am.
Yeah.
Hey,
So if you're,
I'm sorry, but if you're around on a Monday, we do have a bar that we're working with in Staten Island. If you want to come hang with Jet fans on for Monday Night Football, it should be
Oh,
something.
nice.
But yeah, Staten Island.
Cool. I'll reach out and but yeah, we'll sort that.
I'll take you to the best pizza place in New Jersey.
Man, you're getting some hospitality here, Ann.
No, we expect, like, honestly, it's always the same when we come over. It's amazing. That's why so many of us enjoy coming over, because it is amazing to kind of like get into the thick of it with the US fans. It's my first time to MetLife, so I'm quite excited for that. But yeah, I think there's 14 to 16 of us in the group, all diehards, so it's like pretty cool.
Justin, your opening bar segment might be huge.
Yeah, before.
Justin's got a shotgun to open the place up.
Beer bongs galore, huh?
Yeah, that's what he's got to do. It's going to be the grand opening. Instead of cutting the red tape, he's got a shotgun to open it up.
Let's go.
Screw that. Run a couple beer bongs to open it up. Everyone's got to do one.
Yeah, we're good.
Same thing as a shotgun, but still.
Do one with us again. Maybe I won't mess this one up.
Well, hey guys. Anything else before we go? Like I said, I do have to go. I do have to get out the door. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, real quick. Again, obviously the wound is still fresh, but I very much blame the medical staff and kind of the coaching staff for what happened to Becton. A few days ago, it was obviously reported that he had knee discomfort in that same knee. So there hasn't been like some kind of knowledge of like, okay, his knee is bothering him. He's your first round pick just a few years ago, and he has the injury to that knee not too long ago. So you'd think you'd want to like play the long game, like, okay, we don't really need you right now. Let's make sure you're ready for week one. He was limping around in practice. We all seen that video. He was laboring in practice. He got like to the sideline. He was one of the last ones there. putting him out there, especially the offensive line coach. You're supposed to see that. And obviously, a player who's 23 years old and has a chip on his shoulder, he's not going to want to get off the field because he wants to prove people wrong. But it's the coaching staff's responsibility to protect players from themselves, and they failed to do that with Becton. So my heart goes out to him.
So one last thing. So on that, we had a chat with Nick and Santonio Holmes about it, and they are blaming a lot of the knee injuries on the turf at MetLife, knotting in with the cleats. And MetLife does have a different turf to a lot of the other stadiums. And when you think over the last 3 or 4 years, like San Fran came and lost 3 players to knee injuries. We lost a few to knee injuries. There is something up with the artificial turf on the Gen 5 pitches. It needs to be addressed. They are too thick. It's too knotted together. It ties around your cleats. Your ankles twist, your knees go. I'll stand by that. I agree with you on the medical side of it, but the safety on the artificial pitches is not where it needs to be.
I mean, just Becton being so heavy doesn't help either for his rehab, and he did injure himself from somebody being rolled up on him in Carolina, so that really didn't have anything to do with MetLife turf. But as far, I see what you're saying though about other injuries and other players.
Yeah, I agree with Benny too. I don't understand how if you see a guy like limping around and clearly in discomfort, you still send them out there to practice and play. This is your first round pick. This is not your 7th round pick trying to make the team. You know, you drafted your franchise guy at the position, and you send them out there, and it's a shame. It's stupid. The coaching staff should have paid more attention and rest him this practice. He's going to start. There's no one beating him out at right tackle, so it just didn't make sense to me at all to have him practice if he was limping around during drills.
All right, so Gina said good morning to everyone, and then she also said that she doesn't like the turf at MetLife. Has anyone ever been there? Heard stories?
I've actually been on the field a few times, and I can't compare it to other fields, so it's hard for me to say. But I know they did a lot of studies there, and they didn't come up with anything. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, you're hearing it from former players. It's more has more validity than Justin Forocho.
Yeah, on our YouTube, we've got our video with Santonio, and it gets a little bit like heavy and emotional at the end when he's talking about things like that, obviously with the injury that he had. And yeah, it like we came off it and we had to have another Zoom with ourselves to be like, wow, what have we just heard? Because he really unleashed on what he thought, and it does come up. So yeah, it's an interesting one, guys.
Alrighty, guys, I do need to jump off here, so let's give a final shout out how people get a hold of you, and we'll wrap it up, and we can have this conversation again maybe when we got more time. I have a feeling you four and everyone else that was here could talk forever on these Jets.
We do.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun too this morning.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
I know it's early, and sometimes people aren't always up unless you're in the UK, and it's almost 2:00 in the afternoon now.
I'm ready to go out for evening meal.
All right, how do people get a hold of you? Let's go.
So yeah, happy Jets fan on Twitter. I host again I'm a part of the Jet Lounge. I host a Twitter space every Wednesdays, typically at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We talk around NFL. I have theme shows. So my next upcoming show is Women in Sports. So we're going to have a lot of women that are sports fans or in the industry coming on and just chalking it up. And, I always got a lot of fun stuff cooking. So, if you haven't checked it out, All Takes No Breaks, 1 p.m. Eastern time. You could also find me Happy Jet Fan on TikTok and Instagram.
You a dancer?
I have not done any dances yet on TikTok, but I do post a lot of satire. So that's a lot of it on there.
Dancing in his cowboy boots.
Yeah, I'm Benny Blanco. You can find me the same exact username on Twitter. Part of the Monday Morning Takeoff Show. Talk all things Jets. Yeah, follow me there, and we always got a lot of good, fresh content for you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Happy. It looks like Gina might be jumping in on that conversation there. They're going to be listening. She said noted.
Yeah, if she wants to. I mean, we're having all. It's not just Jet fans. It's all women that we have Houston Texans fans. I've had Kansas City Chiefs. So
She's a Niners fan, big time.
Yeah, come on in. Yeah, we're just.
She's my Niner girl.
And I stay shut. I don't say anything, and I stay quiet. And it's just the ladies talking. It's their night, and it's their showcase.
All right, Benny. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's pretty much it. It's just Benny Blanco and part of the Jet Lounge. So follow me there. Follow the Jet Lounge page, and yeah, we got a lot of big things coming soon.
Like I said, I try to listen. I don't always have the time, but I always try to give a pop in. Justin.
All right, I'm Justin Forocho right there. See it? Yeah, so you follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, definitely part of the Jet Lounge Monday morning show, Monday morning takeoffs, 8:30 a.m. every Monday. Yeah, I'm the event coordinator also at the Jet Lounge, so I put together some events. We got some bars and stuff. Obviously we'll be at the hangar the first week.
I love the shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, man. Something I drew up and we're selling them. So check out the jetlounge.com.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
Yeah, come on. We have shows all over. We have Mondays mornings, Monday nights, Tuesday, Monday nights. Pretty much the week there's a show except for Saturday as of right now. So we're working on a Saturday night too, though, by the way. So yeah, follow us, and we do a lot of ways. There's Discord. There's a lot of stuff with the Jet Lounge. So follow any one of us, and you'll get the news from it. For having me, man. Chop it up with you guys.
I look forward to seeing you all at the bar, hopefully in Staten Island there.
Yeah, it'd be great. Good time.
Oh, and especially hanging out with all the Gangrene guys. You guys might be wasted.
Yeah. We can handle it. It's all good. So yeah,
well, I gotta keep up. I said.
And how people get a hold of you, bud?
So it's gang_green UK on Twitter, Instagram. The group is Gang Green UK on Facebook. We've got like 600 and so members across the UK, Ireland, Germany, Sweden. We're quite an eclectic bunch. Some people have been around since the 80s, some a bit before that. Yeah, we're kind of working with the Jets to build their following in the UK, doing events, meetups and things over here, bringing people over to the US, connecting with guys like yourselves. So yeah, you'll see us about. Come and say hi.
Alrighty. Well, hey, I am Sports Talking It, and tonight we are covering the Steelers also tonight. But the Jets went first today, so that's where we are. Just want to help let people know we do have Steelers later. But hey, guys, thank you for stopping by. It has been fun. Maybe we could play catch up. Maybe we can do a little, in between week who you guys are playing. Maybe we can have a little rivalry talk, whatever. I know week 4 should be good when we play the Steelers. If you guys wanted to get involved in that mess, anyone coming down for the game? Justin, you said you might, huh?
Yeah, I'm still trying to get out there. Definitely got a lot of games to get to at home, and definitely to try to take off of work and get out to Pittsburgh. It's only like a 6-hour drive. So, and I love the city out there. So, give me some Primanti Brothers sandwiches, some pierogies while I'm out there. And
you better let me know. I'll be here at Primanti's any day of the week.
Yeah, man.
I'll be on my bachelor party in Nashville. So, I hope it's a good bachelor party and a W at Heinz Field.
Hey, I guess congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not calling it the new name. Heinz Field. That new name is terrible, so I'm calling it.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thank you for stopping by, and we are signing off.